For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a tutorial video about how you're going to pack away your Opus T24 smart tent. So we've done a pitching video previously, so you can check out that on our YouTube channel. But before we'll give you a bit more of a detailed one of how you pack the thing away and get it back into the bag, more importantly. So what we're going to start by doing is actually we'll go around the tent, leave basically the main sort of 4/6 pegging points, i.e. the back two, the front two where the ground sheet's sewn in, and the front two of the front canopy, all in. The rest of it we can take out. It doesn't really matter which way you kind of do it. Personally, I'd probably like to do the front and back webbing straps last. It's not as probably important with a model like this because you've got those internal bracing beams in the roof section. It's not the end of the world if you do that last, but it just kind of makes it much easier in that sense. So just make our way around. The crucial thing with anything in terms of getting the tent down is how you get the air out. So there are a number of things we're going to do in this video to kind of help us rather than hinder us as we kind of go through the packing process. The first thing I would recommend doing is actually opening up all the doors. So that includes the doors to the bedroom section. So you almost want to have the door about maybe only about a third zipped, leaving 2/3 of the opening completely open. What this will allow you to do is the air to escape from inside the actual inner bedroom, but you have the benefit of the fact that the material's not all bunched up in one big ball, and it allows air to pass through quite nice and neatly. So I have just used my own pegs for this, so I'm going to put these aside just because I didn't want to use the ones that came with the tent just to save them getting dirty. So now we've done that, like I see, it pretty much freestands on its own. So at this point here, what I want to do is open up kind of the side door. Just means all that internal air has got an out point really from there. And now from here, what we want to do is almost deflate the beams and back towards the front. What this is actually doing is pushing all of that internal air. So as this kind of canvas part comes down, it's then thrusting the air inside of it forward. So naturally it's going to come out the opening here. Now the back two beams are actually linked together. So by doing the back one first, it will deflate the second one back a little bit sooner as well. But naturally by doing that, well, again, the air has been pushed forward towards the open door. What we're going to finally do, of course, make sure that you've removed the battery packs from the tent itself. And just do the last two. Now, you can opt to take the front panel out if you really wanted to and store it separately. If you're struggling getting the back of the bag, then yeah, by all means, that is a good option. Now we've got the tent completely flat. I want to remove the front two pegs, which is basically linked to the canopy section. And what we can then do is throw this canopy directly over the top, so that way we're only really dealing with the area which has a sewn in ground sheet. And you may have noticed I've actually left the pegs for those parts in place. Ideally, if you throw all the straps in, you can, if you want to, obviously unclip the straps. For me, I would probably just leave them attached. It's one less thing you're going to lose, and they're already in place, making it a little bit quicker to pitch when you come round to it again. So, I've left the front door open, so that way obviously the air can escape. It's not a bad thing just to kind of make sure there's no blockaging of that front door as such. Now, because the valves for inflation and deflation are on this left-hand side as we see it, we're going to fold it in about a bag size, well, yeah, about a bag size width from one side this way across. What I've obviously done is I've left that side door open as well, so any air is being thrusted out that way, and when we do our final roll from back towards the front, all that air is to be thrusted out the front door. So again, it's just controlling that air. As we kind of go through in a bit, we will also squeeze some air out of the actual valves as well. Admittedly, if you've got a second pair of hands, it makes life a lot easier. So, use the bag as a bit of a basis if you wanted to get the first fold. So you can sort of see, you want to probably go a little bit less than the bag, just because what you'll find is it will bulge out a little bit. So we kind of go to about there, and just kind of walk along it. What I like to do is sort of press down where the tubes are based, just kind of getting helping any external air that's in the tube itself, just to escape properly. Unfortunately, there's no real glorious way of doing this apart from this method, but you know, it's a shame that it almost doesn't suck the air out of the tube as well, but that has its own little problems. So also what we do is work our way across. It's one of those processes you can actually do a couple of times. You don't do it, you don't do a good enough job the first time. If you want to get your sort of kids doing teddy bear rolls and everything like that, that's always going to help. But in general, using the method I've shown you, I've never really had an issue where I can't get a tent back in the bag. And with the bag in particular being very oversized, then again, it shouldn't be much of a problem either. So we'll do the last little flip over. We'll give it one last little press down before we start rolling it out. Always handy to get your body weight over it as well. Just makes life that little bit easier. We can position the bag where we want it to. Now ideally, with the tie, I like to lay it a bit underneath already. So when you come to roll it, you're rolling it directly onto the tie. It's in a position ready just to do it up in a nice little knot. Crucially, you want to probably get as tight a roll as you can to start with. Just means when you get to the other end, it's not as big as it should be. If there's two of you, it makes life an awful lot easier, but as you can see from here, it can be done by one person. And we're just going to, when you get to the latter part, it does get a bit chunkier. So you may have to use a bit more body weight. Even rolling and give it a little press down at the same time just helps to get any external air out of it. And now we've got this position here. Our ties are perfectly in place. And the fact you can loop it around and it actually meets is always a good sign. Tie your knot. Now, you can go one of two ways. You either turn the bag over it, or you can just roll it into the bag. Like I said, the bag is kind of quite oversized anyway, so it shouldn't really be much of an issue getting it in. There we go. Job's a good one. Got wheels so you can manipulate it wherever you want to, but in a whole, that's kind of how you're going to pack away your Opus T24. Any more questions, queries, of course, you can always contact us at Attwoolls. Any comments, feel free to let us know in the comments box, but hopefully it's been helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next video.